Good evening, my friends. This is the Flayer. I hope you're all doing very well tonight. We're hot on the heels of a successful league that I uploaded piecemeal. Those are my 5 most recent videos before this one, were the 5 straight matches in a league. That was fun. It was a nice change of pace, but now for a change of pace from our change of pace, we're going to do some fun live content just messing around in the tournament practice lobby. This hand is a keep in a blind game 1. It's very slow, but being on the play is going to be really nice here, and we've got a lot of power in hand, so definitely a reasonable keep here. And yeah, so this will just be a for fun video, just messing around in the tournament practice lobby, hoping to face some decent matchups, have some decent games. We've got turn 1 Forest into Arbor Elf. This makes me very suspicious of Panza. So in case of Blood Moon, I need to run out this fetch land, I think, as my best play here. Stone Rain would be pretty bad. Molten Rain would be pretty bad. Blood Moon would actually kind of be pretty bad, because that would just take me off of Lily and Kalidas, but it doesn't look like they have any of those things. They have an attack with Arbor Elf. That I don't mind at all. So here, I actually, if I'm going to play Liliana next turn, which I think I am, I'm going to have to fetch here. Let's just see what I draw. Maybe I'll draw a basic land, and that'll make my decision easier. I don't. Alright, well, I'm going to go get a swamp. Gonna go get a swamp here. I'm still assuming Blood Moon. So even though this is awkward on a number of levels, number 1, we're not getting a basic forest. Number 2, we will have a Blooming Marsh enter tapped at some point. I think it was correct to run out the fetch land the previous turn, and given they did nothing, I don't mind this awkwardness. Well, they're just going to scoop it up. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, it doesn't seem like they really had anything going until they hit that 3-mana threshold. So let's assume Panza, but maybe side a little more conservatively than we otherwise would, because it could be something different. Maelstrom Pulse and Deathmark are the 2 best ones for sure. Engineered Explosives is still fine. I'll bring that one in as well. Let's just cut down on Spellbomb. Let's cut down on maybe Kalidas. And one other thing. Let's cut down on a Scavenging Ooze, because green mana may be at a premium. I'm just going to do this for now, because this could be a mono-green ramp deck. It could be something entirely different. It could even be green-black Panza, which is a thing that the Death Cloud builds. So since I don't know, I'm going to be really conservative with my sideboarding here. Just bringing in the stuff that's good against Arbor Elf. That's what we saw. This hand, I think, is actually keepable. I think this hand is actually keepable. On the draw, we've got a lot we can do. We've got a lot of ways to slow down their turn 1 plays. And again, since we don't really know what we're even mulling toward necessarily, I think a turn 1 kill spell is about as best as we can hope for. And we've got that in the form of Deathmark. So, ooh, that's potentially good. Certainly just want to draw like a basic swamp next turn would be the best draw. We can have a double discard spell turn and take it from there. This is the definitely a risky keep, but so it looks like this is traditional Panza, and they've got all the mana acceleration they could ask for this time around, and we are just blanking, huh? Well, Engineered Explosives is a little bit tempting here, actually, because it's going to be a 2-for-1 once I draw my second land, but I think I have to Inquisition. Stone Rain or Molten Rain will basically end the game here, so we've got to try to take that away. It's an Ooze. Alright, they've got Bloodbraid Elf next turn and a Glorybringer, excuse me. So pretty rough. Only ourselves to blame for the keep, but hey. What can you do? Alright, Blooming Marsh. Blooming Marsh is a good draw. So I think the play here is just to open on Thoughtseize and then play out the EE. We've still got to deal with this Glorybringer, but we are getting one step closer to stabilizing here, having drawn a land, especially an untapped land. Alright, they only have Forest left, so this is potentially shaping up to be okay. We will have Lily of the Vale as an out to Glorybringer. Never mind. We are actually in quite a lot of trouble. That was a wonderful draw, that Goblin Rabblemaster. I would have taken that away before a Bloodbraid Elf. I believe that's going to be really tough for us to stop. Tarmogoyf. What is Glorybringer's 4 damage? I think I have to decay the Rabblemaster here, and then I am almost dead anyway, but I'm certainly dead if I don't. Yep. Looks like we're just going to get run over this game. That's fine. At least we know exactly what we're up against and all that good stuff. And, ooh, the Blood Moon. The Blood Moon. Okay, well, Forest has us still, you know, technically able to make plays and all that, but we are just dead to the Glorybringer no matter what we do here. So it's concession time. It's concession time. They got us pretty well. We kept the risky one-lander, but, you know, most mulls to 6 would not have handled that progression from them. So now that we know for a fact it is traditional red-green Ponza, am I interested in anything else more? I don't really like Kitchen Finks. It can't block the flyers. Double green is awkward under Blood Moon. I don't think we want Fulminator Mage because they're going to Utopia Sprawl a basic land almost all the time. I still like cutting the Skoos here. I don't think we're really supposed to bring in a Languish. Doesn't seem all that great. But I guess Lily the Last Hope is maybe a little bit more appealing on the draw, so we could, or on the play, excuse me, we could consider these 4 cards. They're all playable. Anything we do not like at all that is in the deck. Honestly, it all seems pretty fine to me. I don't know how highly I'm supposed to rate Lily of the Vale here. I think she's pretty much fine, but maybe we can cut 1 away. But I don't really like any of those better than her. I don't like the 3rd Brutality over the 3rd Lily, I don't think. I think this is actually just how you basically want to be set up against Ponza. So, alright, let's hope for a good strong 7 with a lot of early interaction and some natural resilience to Blood Moon. I think this qualifies. Only 2 lands is a tad sketchy, but we can do everything except play the tracker here. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to get a Swamp on turn 1. And Inquisition. Okay, opponent has only 1 land, but double Utopia Sprawl. That's a bit unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate, actually. You know what? I can trophy away the land that they sprawl, though. That's an interesting line. I think I'm going to take a sprawl, and then we'll see what we draw, and we'll see what they do. I should probably just play a Tarmogoyf next turn, almost no matter what happens. Hissing Quagmire, huh? Yeah, I'm gonna play the Goyf, and then we'll see if they draw a third land, and we'll take it from a second land, excuse me, third mana source, and then we'll take it from there. Goyf on the play is very, very good against Panza. They're going to, like, if we can just go back to interacting from here on out, they're going to struggle to tangle with him. Stomping Ground, so they do have a land. Tireless Tracker, okay. If only we could get a Revolt trigger somehow, that would be great to have a Thoughtseize and Fatal Push turn here. But as it is, I think I'm supposed to just trophy away this tracker. Let's see, that'll grow the Goyf to a nice healthy, yeah. Yep. Growing the Goyf, taking away their really good turn 2 value play. It's ramping them, that's unavoidable, but a 5/6 Tarmogoyf is certainly nothing to sneeze at here. I shouldn't say that's unavoidable, because we did have the choice to not play the trophy there. We could have just simply Thoughtseized and held up Fatal Push. And they did not have another land in hand, so that would have worked out okay if we'd done that, but of course there's no way for us to know that. Alright, so they have 2 unknowns in hand, Bloodbraid and Legion Warboss. I think I should Thoughtseize here. As inefficient as that is mana-wise, I think I have to Thoughtseize. They have double Warboss. These things are going to chump for days. Man, their hand is so stacked. Their hand is so stacked. I guess Bloodbraid Elf is still the take, though. Hopefully they can't manage a double spell turn here or anything like that. There's a double spell turn. Okay, that's another chump blocker. That's not good. Alright, so I don't think I'm going to do anything here. Just take the hit, hold my Fatal Push, unfortunately. It's very awkward, but that's the situation we're in. Tarmogoyf. Alright, so I guess we're going to have to go on the defensive here. Play the Tarmogoyf, hold up Fatal Push, and pass. Because we, well, yeah, with that mentor ability, we are dead if we don't hold both Goyfs back, because they're gonna make a goblin. They're gonna, yep, we have to block with both here. Looking pretty bad. Panza can be a tough matchup. I guess where we lost this game, if we do indeed lose it, which it looks like we will, if they have a land here, yeah, yikes, all the value. It would have been that decision to trophy the tracker, but hey, you know, it's, again, we didn't know that they lacked a land. And we didn't know they were going to draw a lot more gas. They're considering whether they want to punch some damage through or just kind of lose their goblins, because the goblins must attack. They're, of course, suspicious of a fatal push. Oh, I see. Only the one that it made this turn gets haste and must attack. Okay. Well. Sure. Assassin's Trophy, huh? So they have a war boss in hand. We might realistically be able to grind them out if we trophy away the tracker now, and then we still have Fatal Push if they try to shove all in. I mean, I'm still very, very not confident here, but... like, if the game goes on for even a couple more turns, this tracker is going to bury us, so I think this is the play, but I haven't done the math because it's just the tourney practice lobby and we're just having fun. And I don't think we're dead next turn. Alright, they get to refuel a bit with that clue. And I'm sure they've got more gas. These are some sweet basic lands. Onslaught. Onslaught, brother. Love it. That's a cool one, too. I love just the understated art of the old basic lands. You just cannot beat it. Cannot beat it, in my humble opinion. Oh, Blood Moon, how I love you. Such a fun Magic card. Do we spend this? I don't think we do. Maybe we do. Maybe we just have to assume we're going to draw. Like, if we don't draw anything, we can hold up the Fatal Push on our own terms, but it's going to be harder to get a Revolt trigger. Ooh. This is a tough call. These targets are just too bad for me. Just too bad for me to allow myself to Fatal Push a Birds of Paradise or a Goblin token. Yep. Alright, chowing down on some gobos. Oh, I'm so punished. I am so punished for that decision. Alright, pass to you. Have I mentioned how much I hate the card Blood Moon lately? Because I hate the card Blood Moon. Our deck's not even that vulnerable to it, but, you know, and to be fair, we've got a really clunky progression even without Blood Moon involved. We have a couple trackers in hand and we're stuck on 3 land. That is just so awkward by turn 7. Just the draws were not with us this game. Alright, we might get a chance to be at 1 life and live if we block the 2 biggest things, and then now the Mentor triggers are going to do it, right? Yeah, if we had 2 Fatal Pushes. then we might be in business, but yeah, just a really awkward progression. Oh, they're just... And I guess I'm supposed to push here, right? Yeah, pushes in hand with no revolt triggers and a bunch of 3 and 4 drops on the other side. Trackers stuck in hand and now uncastable Skoos. We're so close yet so far. Certainly cannot attack here. Although their board is not getting that big, surprisingly enough. They're not able to keep it wide due to that must-attack clause on the Goblin tokens. Looks like they've got something huge here. Experimental Frenzy, yikes. Yep. Attacking with the Bloodbraid as well. I'm actually going to Fatal Push Views. This is all kind of an exercise in futility, but at least we're making him earn it. Yeah, Overgrown Tomb. Sweet. Well, unfortunately, with them being at 7, we cannot even force them into some good chump blocks, so we're just passing and dying soon enough. We can't beat that card. Good game. Good game, good game. Good match. Ponza can be tough. We've got a lot of good action against it, but if we stumble, they will punish us potentially pretty severely. Now, that looked like a Ponza deck without the land destruction. It kind of just looked like a Arbor Elf value, Blood Moon, red-green, mid-rangey style deck, and the land destruction is, of course, kind of high variance against us. Sometimes it doesn't matter much. Sometimes it's really backbreaking. So a deck like that will probably more consistently punish our stumbling. This hand's pretty solid. The mana is kind of bad, but turn 1 Inquisition's good. Oh my god. Is this Ponza again? Is this really Ponza again? I'm gonna lead on my Blooming Marsh in case they have double land destruction effects in hand, so I can keep my swamp around. And if they don't have any land hate, then it's the better one to lead on. They just have the most gigantic top end you've ever seen. Well, that's pretty rough. Because they're, that keep would get run over by a ton of decks in Modern, but not ours when we're on the draw. That said, this is an interesting spot, right? Because if I trophy away the land, I set them back a turn. I kind of reverse their mana ramp. But then again, we have so many good targets for that trophy that I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do here. We will at least be able to go trophy this turn into Lily next turn. So the big question is, do we just want to slow them down? I think I'm going to. I think I'm going to try to stick all those cards in their hand. Debatable line, but we will see how it pans out. And even if they have like a mana dork, we can always Lily Edict that to continue slowing them down. Maybe when I upload this, I'll be able to say Golgari midrange versus Panza, because Panza's all will play. Maybe. Alright, so they're finding lands, but they don't have anything to do on turn 3. So it is pretty clearly Liliana time. And I think I'm just pitching the other Lily. It's either that or the Fatal Push, but I think it's going to be the Lily here. There goes Inferno Titan. Alright, well, I'm not mad about that. The game is certainly going to go long enough where the Titan is a big risk for us, so not mad about that one at all. Alright, if they have 4th mana, I expect Garruk. Is this the one that can make a beast? Yeah, Garruk to make a beast, probably. Pressures the Lily. Or, you know, maybe they... Who knows? Maybe they have something else, but... Sure enough, Garruk into beast. So we... It's really too bad that we can't quite empty our hand here, but we know they have a Chandra in hand. So we know that they will not be able to empty their hand next turn either, almost certainly. So I think that makes us want to Edict with the Lily. Well, maybe they can empty their hand actually with the Garruk +1. But I still think we want to Edict with Lily here. Everything in our hand is good, including that basic forest, because this is a Blood Moon deck. Opponent might be a little bit surprised to see us do this, but I think it's the right play. Alright, Tireless Tracker, take it away. Show us what's up. They might go Chandra, kill the tracker. Not much we can do about that. We can potentially pressure her with Treetop Village next turn. We'll see what happens, but of course we always want to get our clue value, which we did here. Alright, looks like they are using Garruk for a mana sink. They found a Glorybringer? Oh, that is as bad as it gets. That is so bad. Exerts to kill the tracker, kills the Lily. And it's even a little scary that they have a Stomping Ground left up, because what if they have a... What if they have a Lightning Bolt for a Treetop Village? That's our consolation, right? Is being able to kill this Garruk with our Treetop here. But if they have a Lightning Bolt, and then they get to Chandra with the Garruk still around, we're just going to lose. However, there's no other play we can make here, so let's fire it up. Alright, at least we've accomplished that. That said, they've got a Chandra coming down, they've got a Glorybringer still on the field. This is all quite bad. That Glorybringer was a beast. If we either kept the tracker or the Lily around, we would have been in such fine shape. But now I don't know. Yep, Utopia Sprawl is good. Chandra to follow it up, I'm sure. Muanvuli Acid Moss. Yeah, okay, that's also good. However, the Chandra still in their hand, it gives us just a couple shots at drawing a Thoughtseize, maybe. Dark Confidant. Swamp. Oh, deck. Oh, deck. Sometimes. I guess we just have to play the Confidant out anyway and force this thing to exert, or force them to take the Chandra down. They have too many ways to deal with this. We're pretty dead, honestly. But we'll play it out. Those were a couple of poor draws. They even, you know, leading on that Acid Moss before they played the Chandra lets them protect her from Treetop Village crackbacks if she has to take down. Okay, well, at least they whiff on their +1 there. But now they get to know that they have to exert here. Yep. Okay. Magic the Gathering. Magic the Gathering. Yep. What other gas have you found? Blood Moon. Yep. Collective Brutality. Does just about nothing. I'm going to scoop to that. I'm already tired of playing against Panza, but we'll finish this match out, that's for sure. And I think we'll just kind of do the same thing. EE is fine. Maelstrom Pulse is great. Deathmark is actually less good here than it seemed to be against the opponent's version. The previous opponent's version, that is. Maybe we just want to be super conservative. Let's start here. Nile Spellbomb out. One Scavenging Ooze out. What if we just try to keep everything else, even these very subpar Collective Brutalities? Because at least they can still kill most of the green things that the opponents got as far as creatures go. Or maybe we just want another Lily the Last Hope. She plays okay defense against that stuff, like Glorybringer. Of course, the dream, especially on the play here, is to just start machine gunning down their Monodorks, so yeah, I'll try another Last Hope. It's definitely not great, but we're struggling tonight against Panza, so we'll try out something a little different. This is not going to help our struggles at all. This is a very low interaction hand with no resiliency to Blood Moon and no black mana, so we have to mull it. Okay, I guess this is a keep. It's very underwhelming. That gets bottomed. They're going to steal back the play with a Gemstone Cavern. That's pretty spicy. Exiling an Arbor Elf? That's actually terrifying that they exile an Arbor Elf. You would expect them to exile something from the top end, potentially, but yeah, then again, maybe not in this matchup. But there goes my dreams of having a good target for this Fatal Push. Never mind, I have one. Sweet. Yep. I guess we're kind of resilient against Blood Moon now, but it's turn 2 and we have no gas left in hand. Our hopes hinge upon this 3/4 Tarmogoyf, which, to be fair, Tarmogoyf is good against Panza. Stone Raining the Forest, and we draw our most expensive card right after the Stone Rain. Yep. However, that has grown the Goyf. I guess we'll expose a Field of Ruin instead of a Twilight Mire here. Both Field and Twilight Mire are awful if they Stone Rain our Swamp away. However, that is life against Panza. At least we're out of Glorybringer range. We're out of, Taziger the Golden Fang? Are you kidding me? I almost made a joke last turn, right? When we were empty-handed, I was like, maybe they're gonna splash black and they'll have a Thoughtseize. I never in my wildest dreams thought they would actually be splashing black. This is completely ridiculous. Splashing black. I do not know what to say. Assassin's Trophy, however, was a good draw. I'm just going to... I don't think I'm supposed to use Field of Ruin to take them off of black, am I? What a wild match. Alright, Trophy. Goyf's a little bit bigger again, and we're going to go back to clocking, and, you know, we do have a Tassiger next turn if they don't Stone Rain us or Blood Moon us or apparently Thoughtseize us, because apparently black is on the table. Of course, ramping the Panza deck always feels bad. But, you know, I'd like to remind everybody that Assassin's Trophy is a wonderful card, even though it's a feel-bad card. Like, it didn't even register to me immediately how good that draw was. I was just like, yeah, that's fine, but it ramps them, was my first thought. Let's just be really clear about how amazing that is. That, you know, you've got a 2-mana instant that can take care of something as big as Taziger. Big problem, though, is that, yeah, Chandra and Glorybringer were both live there. Okay, what now? Tireless Tracker, huh? So Tracker is more vulnerable to plays like Lightning Bolt and Glorybringer, but I still think I'm supposed to play her while I have a land in hand. I still think that's the correct line. Alright, I mean, we're continuing to draw we're drawing some decent stuff, to be fair, after we had no gas in hand early on. Trophy, Kalitas, Tracker, these are all reasonable things. That Kalitas was a huge setback for us, though. It's the type of card we don't want to spend Trophy on. They're adding mana with Chandra, that's a little scary. And they play a Garruk. What else do they have? Untapping lands. Man, this is some crazy synergy over there. If they've got another Glorybringer, oh my goodness! We're just getting... These are just nut draws, right? They just have to be nut draws. They simply have to be. Fatal Push is not going to really accomplish anything. At least for now. Actually, well, we'll see. We'll see. We've got like one turn to make something happen, though, because this Kalitas is just going to die to the Glorybringer exertion. They even have a basic swamp in here. So this is Jund Panza. I have no words. Jund Panza with Gemstone Caverns. I'm not hating. I'm not hating, but you can see how their deck would fall apart very easily to, for example, its own Blood Moon. So, like, it's a little bit rough that we've been on the receiving end of such incredible curve outs. I don't think that's unjustified to think. Alright, looking for removal here. Ugh, goodness. Goodness, goodness, goodness. Well, Kalitas is going to die to Glorybringer. So I unfortunately just have to Fatal Push a Beast and kill, I guess, Chandra is the one to take out over Garruk. Alright, that's something, but this Glorybringer is just going to end the game if we don't deal with it real quick. Not sure why it asks you to declare blockers when you don't have any. Assassin's Trophy. Well, that's a very good draw. And the Glorybringer doesn't quite untap yet. So I think what I'm supposed to do here is Field of Ruin to fix my own mana, and then play a Tarmogoyf. Think we get basic forest over basic swamp here, but we of course kind of want both. All right, well, we kind of need them to brick for a little while longer, that's for sure, but okay, looks like they did. I think that Inquisition's gonna miss. I truly do. So do we just fix our mana even further? I think we're supposed to try to pressure this Garruk off the field. I don't want to fight through an endless stream of beasts. So if our opponent thinks their Glorybringer will live, then they're... I don't know. Let's attack. Let's attack and see what they do. Okay, they're going to let the Garruk go. Maybe they have another Garruk. That might be the other card they could have in hand, in which case my Inquisition would whiff anyway, so I think I'm still just going to hang on to it. Yeah, we'll pass. Alright, so we'll go get another swamp here. Continue fixing our mana. Resilience against the old moon and all that bad stuff. And then we've got to trophy this thing away. It's already done quite enough damage to us, but better late than never. They're turning both beasts sideways, so they do not really fear our clock. They see themselves as the aggro, and they are probably correct. Inferno Titan, well, that will certainly contribute to that perception. I mean, Yeah, and we draw Dark Confidant. Man, these bobs have been coming at the exact worst times. Yeah, we can't beat this board. Let's Inquisition you, I guess, see what you're working with. Verdant Catacombs, yep. So we are just dead. We are very, very, very dead. This is rough. This is rough. Blood Moon is still a very annoying Magic card. These red-based mid-range decks are still truly annoying to face if you're on another fair deck yourself. Sometimes it feels like we're a little bit. It's a little bit of a thankless task, being the good guys of Modern. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many decks out there that can kind of put up a fight against another fair mid-range deck, but otherwise they just kind of roll over and die to a lot of the format, right? Not necessarily putting Ponza in that category, but there are elements of that in Ponza. This is a third Wooded Foothills deck. This better not be Ponza. Stomping Ground. Oh my goodness. Shriekhorn. Oh, this is Dredge. This is way worse. This is way worse. Well, this might be a night where I go, oh, and whatever. Not gonna lie. This hand, it's got a Scavenging Ooze, but otherwise it lines up extremely poorly against Dredge. Tarmogoyf is of course decent, but yeah, I mean, we're on the draw against a Dredge player that kept 7. Therefore, I think we're going to lose. Like, just in game 1, of course. Those two criteria have been met. I do not expect to win. Like, it's pretty much as simple as that. Now they're gonna, yep, Shriekhorn here. I looked down for a second. Did they not Shriekhorn in their upkeep? If so, they missed a trick. I think you're supposed to Shriekhorn in the upkeep looking for a Dredger. But they're gonna find some good stuff to do anyway. Bloodghast and Amalgam, but nothing too crazy so far, right? Like, we are not completely done for yet. Well, they found another Amalgam. Okay. Double Amalgam's going to be pretty bad. See, like, now I'm not even sure if I'm supposed to play the Scavenging Ooze, because it can't block. Like, it can't block anything. I mean, maybe I still should, but this might be one of those weird situations where a Tarmogoyf is just better. A Tarmogoyf just, like, they're gonna Dredge next turn no matter what we do. I'm gonna try that out. I'm gonna try out the Tarmogoyf. It's likely to grow before they move to attacks next turn based on their dredging and all that good stuff. It's really likely to. And if this thing becomes a bit of a brick wall for us, we might be able to start just hunkering down behind a Goyf and a Scooz and taking it from there, but the deck has such good inevitability now with Creeping Chill, right? Like, I'm still pretty sure we're just dead. But you never know. Yeah, opponent is supposed to, I think, Shriekhorn in the upkeep here. But, yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't play Dredge. Okay, they found a Thug. It's the only real card of relevance. Of course, Faithless Looting can be flashed back, but yeah, now they're Shriekhorning, and they found more lootings. Not all that great, honestly. So I've just got to start taking blocks on amalgams here. If they had this exact progression and we were on the play, we actually might be pretty okay. We would have let on the scoos then, and then we would have been a lot better off. Opponent still got 5 cards in hand. One of them is a Life from the Loam. What have you got for us, opponent? What do you have? Cathartic Reunion. And now they just get to go off. They're finding all the dredge stuff. They just get to go off. Yep. Creeping Chill. So balanced. So fun. Yep, so our opponent here has, from what I can see, had made a couple misplays, had a pretty medium start, and we're just pretty dead, aren't we? They've even got double Stinkweed Imp, so we cannot even profitably stop them from dredging next turn. So because we cannot profitably stop the dredge, are we supposed to eat something that's not a Stinkweed Imp? Like a Bloodghast or a Prized Amalgam? That I don't know. I truly don't know what the best play there is. Either way, Tireless Tracker was a poor draw, and it's obviously Scoo's time. I guess we still take a Stinkweed Imp and hope they don't hit an Archamoeba or a land. Well, I guess they're going to hit a land, actually, because they have a Life from the Loam in hand, but it might be pretty deterministic at this point, regardless of what we did. Yeah, so it looks like Tarmogoyf was the better play here, because taking a couple blocks over the past few turns has been better than getting one more Ooze activation before this turn. Yeah, they just had the land naturally, didn't need to cast their Life from the Loam. There's a Conflagrate in the yard. Yep. Do. Not a great night for us thus far. Show us lethal. You can do it, opponent. You can do it. Alright, if they take any longer, I'm just going to scoop. Because I know they have it. I know you have it, my friend. You've got 5 cards in hand. You can Flash Fist back for 5. But you're going to fetch first. Alright, maybe we'll see a little bit more info here. While our opponent's doing that, I'm actually going to take a peek at MTG Goldfish, which I realize is not always the most accurate, but I'm just curious where Dredge has gone in the meta. It's obviously still tier 1 or right up there, around there, but let's see what the old Goldfish has to say. Is our opponent still really not doing anything? They're conflagrating our board? Alright, they're just slow rolling us. Or they just don't know what they're doing. Okay. You got it. Yeah, Dredge is they've got it 4th in the meta, so it's still right up there. We are 8th in the meta, which is pretty sweet. Still in the top 10. Alright, to the sideboard we go. Not having very much luck tonight, but let's hope that changes here and now. So, we want Nile Spellbomb, we want Grafdigger's Cage, we want Surgical Extraction. That's our collection of Grave Hate. Other than that, Collective Brutality is really not that bad because you want to take away the cards like Cathartic Reunion out of their hand. You can draining for 2 is potentially at least better than some other things we're doing. Liliana the Last Hope can come in for similar reasons, and maybe even stuff like EE and Finks, although Finks is shut off by our Spellbomb. By our Cage, the Persist side of Finks, so I don't know about that. These are all cards that are like, maybe. But we have enough that's bad that we might be able to bring in at least some of the questionable ones. Liliana of the Veil is the prime offender. Tireless Tracker is very slow, not great. Honestly, Trophy and Decay are quite bad too. These are kind of like... These are cards I'm super not excited about. So if we do that, and if we brought out all 6 of these, we could bring in all 3 of these. I might like leaving in Tracker over Finks. And Engineered Explosives just isn't really any good, is it? Oh, they're leaving? Well, got to see a little bit of sideboarding against Dredge. That was annoying. Oh well. Do we count that as a win? Does that get to be marked in the win column for us? If this session keeps going as it's been, I might have to take that as a win. All right, let's get a new opponent up in here. See what we can do. Won the die roll. That's a good start. Unplayable hand. That's that's a bad follow-up. We will mull. Guys, am I cursed? I don't know what's happening tonight. I truly don't know what's happening tonight. Our opponent's mulling. All right, we'll go to 5. Okay, this is a 5. This is a 5. I'm gonna keep that. I'm certainly gonna keep that because we can go turn 1 Thoughtseize, turn 2 Dark Confidant with that, and then we at least do have our 3rd land for Tracker. Take it from there. All right, let's hope these cards pull a lot of weight, as we are starting off behind on resources, which is never good for a deck like ours, but not insurmountable, just not good either. Opponent's thinking if they want to Force of Will this. Alright, we are against Infect. I don't remember what Eager Claw Mirror does. It gets pumped when it becomes blocked. Sure. Well, their hand is pretty unplayable. If they find another land, it's actually likely to be a green one. So I'm actually going to take this Dismember. Try to ride my Dark Confidant to victory. They're way too threat dense from... they rip a green land right off the top. Oh boy. Well, maybe they scry that to the top, to be fair. But that's awful for us, needless to say. Tireless Tracker is also very bad in this matchup. Treetop Village is not really where we want to be either, so we need this Bob to really dig us to some good stuff here. They found a Noble Hierarch. Okay. They're deciding whether they want to offer the trade. I hope they don't. They do. As ridiculous as this is against an Infect deck, I actually have to let this through, I think. I think I have to let that one through. Alright, Bob. Pay me back. Show me the goods. Swamp. Okay. Well. Let's... Let's attack with Bob. No interaction there is awful. But the Tarmogoyf is at least a reasonable roadblock. To that Glistener Elf. They can kill it with a pump spell, but there's nothing we can do about that, A, and B, it's you know, fewer poison counters. So if we are able to start drawing some interaction next turn, then we might be okay. So I can't keep giving them these free hits for 2. Gotta take this block. They will, I'm sure, have a pump spell. That is okay. Mutagenic growth. Alright, so they don't even have to burn their vines. That kind of sucks, but, you know, a pump spell's a pump spell, I guess. Okay, they're not playing another threat. We find another Bob. So are we supposed to Bob here, or are we supposed to Tracker here? I think, I don't know that it matters too much, to be perfectly frank. And now I don't even know if I want... Yeah, I do still want to attack with the Bob, right? Because we know all 3 cards in their hand. If they want to trade away anything for a Bob, like the... Or is that even true? Maybe I'm just supposed to keep this Bob around and have a couple things back on defense. Yeah, I'm just gonna... This looks weird on multiple levels, but I'm just gonna play a Dark Confidant and pass. Confidant and pass is not mana efficient. It is not efficient sequencing in terms of how we almost always want to go Tracker into land, and it's not clocking them. However, if, like, our deck is so good against Infect, it's so good against Infect, removal spells, discard spells, planeswalkers, you name it, we have some spectacular things to do against this deck. And if we just keep our Bobs around, we're going to hit them. Now, the fact that they've got Rancor, maybe I have to trade away a Bob here. They cannot pump with Vines here due to their colorless source over there. So yeah, now, even though I'm going to get trampled over, now I'm happy to kind of set them back a little bit on tempo, I guess, because they'll have to play a threat next turn. I think I trade away a Bob here. This makes me wish I played Tracker, but... Okay, this is all pretty bad. This is all pretty bad stuff. But we took them all to 5, and we have had a almost no interaction progression against Infect. Yep, you're hexproof. You're sure hexproof. Okay. We got the vines out of their hand, and they cannot play anything in the second main. Well, I mean, I'm not going to pretend that we earned that, but we'll take it. Did they think the pump came first and the hexproof was the kicker? I don't know. But show us the love, Bob. Scavenging Ooze is not the love. We keep getting creatures and lands only. What is this stuff? But our opponent is keeping us in it, so sure. We just have a double spell turn here. It's nothing great. Believe me, it's nothing too great, but if we dig through our deck enough, we are mathematically guaranteed to find interaction at some point. And to be fair, you know, at least they don't have Blighted Agent. And at least they're not really using their Inkmoth Nexus. So our creatures along the ground are actually more relevant than they usually would be against Infect, right? This is a bit of an absurd game. Another Noble Hierarch, so the Exalted triggers are getting pretty real over there, and now it's got to be Eager Claw Mirror. Or no, they're just gonna... Well, that's actually a good play. That actually puts us on the 2-turn clock. So it's about time we found some interaction, Bob. It really is. It really, truly is. Assassin's Trophy is certainly interaction. So let's get our clues going strong here. I don't think we need all that much green mana for Skoos. Hissing Quagmire, okay. We know their third card is Rancor, right. So they've got no Infect for next turn. Yep, we just got to main phase this. And let's attack with everything. We'll see if they take a block, and then we might crack a clue. We might eat some things. No block. Alright, let's crack a clue. Okay, are we going to steal this game? They're at 3. Treetop Village is lethal. They're going to struggle to assemble blockers. We did it. Alright. They kind of had to throw away a Vines of Vastwood for us to do it, but we did it. So that's more of a win in the W column than the Dredge player leaving after game 1 even. So like we got real actual wins going on, guys. It's pretty exciting stuff. So against Infect, we want to get quicker. Tireless Tracker was fine there, but it's a card that can come out to the tune of maybe 2 of them or so. Kalitas is also less than impressive, just too slow. The Spellbound doesn't really do anything, and we could even consider cutting down a Skoos. I love Engineered Explosives. Sorry, I don't love Engineered Explosives, but it's worth considering. It's just likely to only be a 1-for-1. Maelstrom Pulse is fine. Fulminator Mage is more of an all-star. We're going to bring Fulminator straight in. Bring these 5 out. Fulminator is solid. Collective Brutality is a little bit better of a kill spell, actually, than Pulse or EE is in this matchup. And Liliana the Last Hope's pretty solid as well. So if we bring in only one of these, in my league match I did Pulse on the play and Explosives on the draw. I don't know if that's correct, but because we're on the draw, let's give that another shot. Let's try the EE here, and if there's a game 3 we'll be on the play, we'll maybe swap it out for the Pulse. All right. So we got a few of the first wave of spoilers, as you may have seen, for Ravnica Allegiance. Of course, Golgari was was featured in the last set, in case you hadn't noticed. Golgari got a tool or two. So I don't necessarily expect all that much for us, but you never know. Got to keep an eye on it. This is just another just a ridiculous hand. I don't think we can keep this. We've got too much 1-mana interaction to see. And no black. Yeah. Alright, this is much better. This is a respectable 6. And we will keep that. We've got no threat, but that is more okay against Infect than it is against most decks. We just... Oh no, the opponent... Did they keep a no-lander, or did they skip their their turn? Sorry, man, if you just skipped through it. I'm sorry. Yeah, they just skipped through it. Well, that can happen, I guess. And they've got, once again, just a hand absolutely full of threats. In fact, it's so full of threats that I think I'm supposed to take away this Rancor. Is that bad? They can keep buying it back. Yeah, that's actually bad. I'm going to take the Blossoming Defense and plan to push the Glistener Elf that they'll play next turn. And then Lily the Last Hope their follow-up and keep Lily the Last Hoping them out of this game. I'm only able to do this, it appears, because they clicked through their first turn, but I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to say no to that. So, Fatal Push. Pass to you. You'll notice, though, that I did consider that Rancor when it's put into a graveyard from the battlefield. So one of the cleanest ways to deal with this, besides Scoos, is to just take it away with discard. So that will often be a consideration. So they hit their second land drop. They're good to go. Is it going to be a Blighted Agent? Straight into the loving arms of Liliana. You got it. You got it, my friend. Liliana the Last Hope, take it away. Oh, it's so good. Lily is so good. They might not be able to beat her. Inkmoth Nexus can beat her, but we have an Assassin's Trophy for that, at least. So they play a Glistener Elf, or are they going to play the Rancor? Sure. I don't mind that at all. So we get to kill this thing. And we get to Thoughtseize and then Assassin's Trophy. Seems alright. Dismember, Mutagenic Growth, and Rancor. I guess it's the Rancor. I guess it just represents the most value over the course of a game, but I truly don't know. I mean, Dismember is obviously a concern, but at this point we're just going to win with the Liliana ultimate, so I'll take their Anchor. And, of course, you always want to... You didn't never want to be too cute with your removal against Infect. You want to just main phase it, or sometimes use it on the end of their turn. You just don't want to give them a chance to have Blossoming Defense or Counter Magic or anything like that. Do I fetch to thin out the deck, or do I hold that for Tracker? Yeah, we'll hold it. Dark Confidant's a fine draw. It's going to get dismembered, but at least that'll be out of their hand. Okay, they're not firing that off quite yet. Glistener Elf. Yep. Now will they dismember the Bob? Are they going to let us have it? Ooh, that's a mistake. You have to dismember this guy. You have to dismember this guy when you're playing a deck that doesn't care about the life total. Yeah. So maybe my opponent thinks like they can save this with Glistener Elf with Mutagenic Growth, but this lasts until my next turn. So let's just start off by doing that. Yep. Okay, that's gonna basically stop our Bob from attacking and nothing more. Thought sees you. Oh, you've got to cast your Dismember, dude. Yeah, I guess they realized their error a bit too late. But we had that one locked up, right? We had that one locked up. They're not beating the Liliana, the Last Hope. They're simply not going to do it. Dark Confidant, like, don't get me wrong, we had a whole bunch of air in there. We had a bunch of lands that were not accomplishing anything. However, we just had enough to get it done, so that was a game. That was a game of Magic. I'll play one more match, and then we're probably going to pack it in for the night. I realize how interesting these tourney practice lobby matches can be, so I'm if you're watching here, I'm happy if you're sticking with me and enjoying them. They're certainly an interesting change of pace, and we certainly can face a stiff challenge from them, as we saw from those first two Panza matches, which did not go our way, but things have turned around just a tad since then. We'll keep this hand. It's very, very painful relative to our norm, but otherwise it is a perfectly solid hand, and this is another Stomping Ground deck, and this is 8-whack, so so it's a very, very, very bad hand, bad deck, excuse me, to have a painful hand against. So at least we drew a painless land there. I guess it still wasn't that great of a draw, but Tarmogoyf is going to be a great card in this matchup. I think I take the Lightning Bolt here, because then my Goyfs can just wall off their entire team, and they cannot bolt a Goyf to finish it off. So I'm going to take the Bolt. We'll see if that comes back to bite me at some point. Obviously, the creatures are the ones that have synergy with each other, like Foundry Street Denizen getting pumped up by this Goblin Guide entering. All that stuff is I understand all that, but I think the Goyfs sticking around are the key to the victory here, and we have an Assassin's Trophy, which is not the worst, not the best, really. It's just kind of whatever here in this spot, but we'll play a Goyf. We'll lean toward green in case of Scavenging Ooze, and, you know, if they find a Goblin Grenade or another Lightning Bolt or something, then that's not great for us. But if they don't, if they're just on creatures, mono creatures from here on out, then our Tarmogoyfs are going to be mighty useful. So I'm not sure why this 8-whack deck has green. Are we expecting like a Tarkus command or something? Oh god, they have a Goblin Grenade. Why did I say that out loud? They're showing me a Dark Confidant. That's truly awful. I don't mean to be negative, but like we're getting the wrong end of the luck stick tonight. I think that's clear. However, Thoughtseize into Tarmogoyf here is fine. Again, Thoughtseize is kind of doesn't really matter what we take here, to be honest. I guess it is a Goblin Guide in case they manage to deal with our Tarmogoyf yet again. The guides represent the most damage. Yeah, don't mean to be negative, and I'll do my best to stop, but whew. Feel like we're on the wrong side of luck tonight, but that's okay. I'd rather have the luck in games that matter. And, you know, these Tarmogoyfs, the second Tarmogoyf might still be able to get us there. Scavenging Ooze is a good draw. It's a very good draw. I could slow roll this a little bit around a Lightning Bolt, but I think I'm going to play it and stay back for one turn. And if we get to untap again with this Ooze, then we are in very good shape. They're just going to scoop to that. Yep, without a second land to accelerate, without any way to take care of the Ooze. They know as well as we do that that is pretty much the nail in the coffin. So, again, we're just assuming 8-whack, don't really know what the green is for, so we want EE, Finks, Pulse, Collective Brutality, Languish, Lily, the Last Hope. These are all great. That's 6 cards to bring in. We'll probably shave a Tracker, we'll probably shave at least 1 Lily of the Veil, maybe 2. Actually, I don't know about that, because we've got to take out Dark Confidants and Thoughtseizes. I think 1 Bob here is actually still fine. I think 1 Bob is still fine. So let's cut a Lily, and I guess we just leave in all of our trackers. Is there anything else we want? No, there's not. So, yeah. Even this Nihil Spellbomb should maybe come out, but whatever, we just submitted, and arguably it's better than the like the 3rd Lily of the Veil or the 3rd Tracker, simply because we want to lower our curve, and we brought in a lot of good sideboard cards, but none of them are that low in terms of CMC. You know, Finks, Languish, Lily, the Last Hope, number 2. These are all cards on the higher end, but very good in the matchup, and our hand is fine, but we've got the curve issue rearing its ugly head. That said, if we draw a couple lands in the first 4 turns, our hand is amazing. Foundry Street Denizen is a scary turn 1 play from this deck. Abrupt Decay is a good draw, but it's not the land we're looking for. We still have a couple more cracks at the whip, though, and Inquisition turn 1 is where it's at. So, Legion, Loyalist, Fanatical Firebrand, Devastating Summons. Huh. So this is kind of the 2-for-1 in the hand. Should we just take this? I actually kind of think we should. The argument otherwise is to slow them down by taking the Loyalist. I think we take the Summons. I think this is a hard card for us to beat in general. We're going to get punished if they rip some way to go really fast, but with Abrupt Decay into hopefully Liliana's if we draw our lands, you know, we should be able to weather this attack. Fatal Push was a good draw, even though it's not a 3rd land, so we're just going to pass, and we're going to Abrupt Decay the Foundry Street Denizen, probably. You know, I'm glad we don't have to deal with that devastating summons, but if we brick on lands for a third turn running, then we might well be in some trouble. So, I don't really care about the battalion effect on this Legion Loyalist, to be honest, so even though this is just a 1/1 for now, I think we still just decay that. They have something for the second main phase. Lead the Stampede. Oh, what? Now that is what green is for. Now they only got 2 hits off of that. Fortunate. Fortunate for us. But wow, is that a good one. Alright, so next turn they're going to go Goblin Guide into Burning Tree into Goblin Guide, excuse me. So I don't think we can afford to play the Ooze. I think we have to have a slightly mana inefficient turn and Fatal Push something. I guess it'll be the Goblin Guide after we get the trigger. But lead the Stampede. Now that was a heck of a draw, and that's a pretty spicy inclusion, if I say so myself. Okay, Goblin Guide with no Burning Tree, or are they just gonna kind of do it in a different order? Oh my god, they found the Bushwhacker too? Well, they were pretty much out of gas, and then they drew all the gas, so what you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Maelstrom Pulse is too slow. Whatever, we'll play it out. I was gonna say maybe we're just dead no matter what we do next turn, which I believe is the case, so we should scoop to hide information. Whatever, they know we play Fatal Push. We're at 4. Well, we're not dead if we play the Scoos and eat something, go to 5, then on board they're showing us 4 damage. If they suicide something into the Ooze, we block a Burning Tree and take 4. So I guess that's what we go for. Alright. If you're out of gas, we may actually have a miraculous ability to stabilize here, but we're probably dead. They've got a lot of haste threats. That's one of them, right? They played a... yeah. Oh boy. Sure, you got us many times over, my friend. That was quite the crazy sequence in the mid-game. I thought we had taken the best part of the gas out of their hand when we took away the devastating summons. Is that what that's called? And to be fair, we did. But lead the Stampede into more haste threats and Bushwhackers were just basically all the running draws, and that was about that. Alright, fair enough. This matchup is fine for us. We've got a lot of good cards. We just need to have a good progression here. And I mean, this is a keep, but it's not that exciting of a keep. I think I'm just gonna swamp and pass. There's an argument for EE because it just slows them down, even though that, you know, them knowing about it is not the most... Ooh, hardcast Bushwhacker? I think I still push this to be mana efficient, but could be wrong. Kalidas. Alright, now I'm going to play this out on 1, partially to be mana efficient once again, and partially because I can't make a second color yet, even if I wanted it on 2. So we really need something, you know, like a Blooming Marsh next turn. Would be perfect. Burning Tree into Bushwhacker. Alright, come on, Blooming Marsh. It's a swamp, I'll take it. Yep, we just play out the Lily here. Kill the Bushwhacker. If they've got another round of haste threats, she might not make it, but if she does make it, we are potentially shaping up to be okay. We still don't have green for Maelstrom Pulse, or for any other green card in our deck, but Kalitas, backed up by Lily, with an Engineered Explosives on 1. This is all very, very good against the 8-whack deck. So let's hope they don't have anything that kills the Liliana here. Or if they do, they have to actively spend a lot of resources suboptimally to do so. Looks like the opponent's gaming it out, so they might have something that may or may not be worth doing. I don't know. I don't know. I do know that Liliana the Last Hope is a heck of a Magic card. Alright, they've got a Stomping Ground. They're shocking it in. What's it gonna be? Are they, like, hard-casting another Reckless Bushwhacker? Oh no, they're doing the Devastating Summons thing. Wow. Oh, that is so backbreakingly good. That is so disgustingly good. And they're just coming straight at us with it. Well. That's pretty nice. So we can't cast anything besides Kalitas. Casting the Kalitas. Getting a kill, making a zombie. This is the best we can do. That was so insane. We just got run over bad. See, I knew that card Devastating Summons was good. We've got good gas in hand. Granted, gas that we can't cast. We had a really nice progression of push into EE, into Lily, into Kalitas. But we're at 2. And they've got the things. And they've got the stuff. But they have to pass and they're out of cards, so we just stabilized because we drew a Collective Brutality. That is nice. So I think what I'm interested in doing here is I've got to kill the Burning Tree so I can make another zombie. I think I want to drain them for 2 so I'm not dead to land Lightning Bolt. So we've got to escalate. Kill your thing, drain you for 2. Kill that, drain. And I guess it Sphinx simply because we're that much further away from actually casting it. And I guess we're supposed to hold the Kalitas back here because he's just too good. Potentially win with the Lily ult here. Treetop Village. That's a green card. It's a green land, excuse me. Yeah, so now we definitely just stay back, because next turn we can pulse these things away. Alright, are we doing it? Are we stabilized at 2? Tireless Tracker, huh? Well, let's hit the pulse. Wow, what a finish to the night. That was insane. We stabilized at 2 behind 2 of our best cards. Well, frankly, 4 of our best cards. EE was awkward there, but it is one of our best cards in the matchup. It might have stopped them from playing things out in a certain sequence. We'll never really know. But Fatal Push was part of the first 4 turns. Fatal Push, EE, Lily the Last Hope, Kalitas. This was all almost not enough because there's an amazing synergy between the Bushwhacker effects and Devastating Summons. And that just put us down to 2. Thankfully, Kalitas came down and stabilized us with some help from Liliana, who had exactly 1 clean kill on the board. We took it, we made a zombie, we were able to hold off the attacks, and they just had no more lands. Collective Brutality got us out of Lightning Bolt range. Then we finally found a green land, and that was basically that. We were about to ult with the Lily, and we were about to get in for 7 damage, gain 3 life, make 4 zombies on our unstep, and have engineered explosives on 1 ready to crack. So that would have been a sweet turn if the opponent let us play it out, but they saw the writing on the wall and they knew what was up. So definitely a night of mixed results. The Ponza decks got us pretty badly. You guys let me know what you think. I think we got nut drawn pretty bad in those matchups, to be honest. Like, they were just pretty much casting big anti-mid-range bombs on curve for most of those games, right? And Blood Moon got us as well to some degree. So the Ponza matchups were a little bit rough. We didn't really get to play out the Dredge one, unfortunately. Game 1, of course, didn't go our way, especially on the draw. It's not supposed to. Would have been interesting to see the other ones. I wish we got to play that. But, hey, then we had some interesting ones against Infect and a really, really cool green splash 8-whack for Lead the Stampede, which seems pretty decent to me, at least in mid-range matchups. So, anyway, that was pretty fun. I hope you all are continuing to enjoy these sojourns through the tournament practice lobby. I've gotten some positive feedback on them, and of course, I want to go back to doing the replays, but they're still not available to me, and I will do some more league play in the near future as well. But for now, I wanted to take a break from the stress of league play and have some for fun matches. So there you have it. Anyway, that's about a wrap. I'm going to call it there for the night. As always, everybody, thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you know what to do. Flayer MTG is on Patreon, and liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, all of that stuff is most welcome as well. So until then, I hope you have a great night, and I will talk to you soon.